I've often said in the past that you coach at a school like the University of Virginia, and there are others in the same category that you have to learn to win from the front. That you're almost always going to get everybody's best shot, kind of year in and year out. And coming off a season like we had in 2013, we may actually get the benefit a little bit anyway from not really sneaking up on people, but I think there's a little bit of an edge there with some of our players having felt as if it wasn't quite the season that we hoped it would be in 2013. So if anything, you've noticed a little different focus in practice and some things like that. I think everybody's anxious to get back to it and get going in 2014. So that sort of is what we brought into the off season. We had a situation where Chris LaPierre is our sole captain in 2013. We lose him on the first practice, and so we have to kind of struggle to make up that ground during 2013. But we get the benefit from having him back now in 2014. So I think we go into this season with an experienced team overall, experience in the key spots, a couple of positions where we clearly have to demonstrate some development. But I feel pretty good about those kind of things. Again, the quality of the effort in the off season has been very good, and so I like where we start out as we look ahead to 2014. Yeah, well, we can probably take these interviews back as far back as you'd like. I almost always would say that you build your offense around the attack, and for us, one of the question marks going in will be the development of our attack overall. I think, Mark Cochran had a terrific season in 2013. Comes back for his senior year. We expect him to play a strong role for us, obviously, but we need some other people to step up. Going into the start of the season, we've got some young players and some inexperience there. Like I say, we feel pretty good about those things, but we're going to have to demonstrate that we can make plays. Playing against the caliber of competition that we see game in and game out. So we're probably going to be dependent on Owen Van Arsdale in his senior year. Owen's been a versatile guy for us that we need to play a number of different positions. I think James Pinnell, who I talked about last year, as we sort of needed him last year, and then he wound up getting hurt early in the year and never was able to quite get to it quite the way we hoped, or the way he hoped, certainly. So we need James to continue to make progress, to be in that kind of one of those leading players for us. Freshman Ryan Lukovic had a nice fall for us. I think you'll see him early in the season. Again, those are things that he's going to have to demonstrate that he's ready to make plays here. And then there are some other, we've got some other guys that we just expect to come through. Taylor Michael, somebody we're going to have to give the ball to. Maybe another freshman, AJ Fish. We're going to need to do a good job for us, and so we got a number of new players in key positions at the attack that'll probably have as much to say with how we're going to be on offense overall as anything else. In turn, we've got experience, I think, athleticism in the midfield. Rob Emery, you mentioned, Ryan Tucker, Chris LaPierre back can play some offense for us. We expect Greg Cohalan to be ready to step up. Patrick Harbison in his senior year. A couple guys there that we feel like are right on the verge of being ready to make some plays for us. A couple of young players I think people are going to want to keep an eye out in the midfield for us. Matt Emery and Zed Williams in particular, I think, are guys that could be in a position to do some important things for us come springtime. Yeah, I feel like I do feel like our strength of our team is probably in the middle of the field and coming out of our defensive end. On the close defense, I think we're experienced there. We're athletic. Greg Danseglio, Scott McWilliams, Tanner Scales are the obvious starters on the close defense. Albert Kamala did a nice job this fall. Give us some depth there. We've got some depth in the midfield. Tanner Ottenbright is a long pole, and a couple of new players, Joe Lisicki and Nate Menninger. Dixon Smith coming back from an injury. We only had Bobby Hill and Blake Riley last year as our short stick middies when Chris got hurt, when LaPierre got hurt, and then Carlson Milliken, a freshman that we thought could have helped us last year, was also hurt. And so I think we have those guys are all back now, so we've got some depth at that position. So I like us experience-wise. I like us athletically, in the defensive end and coming up the field. So much of what you do on defense depends on your play in the goal. We had a couple of young players there last year that we asked an awful lot of in Rhodey Heller and Dan Marino. They'll be back. I think they'll be better. A new player in Matt Barrett, who I think is in the mix there. I told people we needed to get better in the goal. I think we will be better in the goal, and we need to demonstrate how much better in the goal we can be. You know, can those guys step up for us and make a big stop at a critical moment in a big game? So those are the kind of questions that I think are still to be answered for this team.